Hey, Myles here at Tactical Hyve, and welcome to another episode of Sports Sunday. Today I want to talk to you about a pretty fundamental technique that mostly beginners and even intermediate shooters, you're going to see that they struggle with this, maybe because they just don't know about it yet, but even advanced shooters can, things slip, adrenaline gets to them, stress, whatever it is. But the idea is that when you are moving and shooting or moving from position to position, the level of your head, if it changes a lot from going up to down, down to up, that disrupts your sights. So right now my pistol is dry here, and I'm going to point this at the camera. So if you were my target, okay, so I'm going to point right at the camera, at the lens here. If you were my target and I'm already aimed in on you, but now I'm moving up and down because of my body position or movement, this means I have to adjust my aim. I was already on target here, but now when I take a step, notice how I went down, or maybe I step upwards like this, I'm no longer on target. And that might be negligible. It might seem like that's not a big deal, right? Oh, the sight's only moved a little bit, you can readjust. And yes, you will readjust, but now imagine doing that throughout an entire stage where there's a lot of movement and you have to adjust. And let's just say, I don't know the exact amount of time it would take for you to readjust your sight. So let's say I start on target just like this. Now because I moved, I'm off and now I have to come back on. But let's just say, I'm just making this up. Let's say it was a quarter of a second, right? It's gonna be less than that, but if it was a quarter of a second, times that by how many times your sight moves and you have to readjust. That's gonna be a lot of time. And as we know, in sports competitions, it matters, okay? It matters a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage two targets here, and I'm going to demonstrate the incorrect way, or maybe, I should say the less efficient way of doing things here. So we notice what I'm doing with my head, okay? Pay attention to the level of my head. So I'm going to engage that steel target over there. Notice how high my head will be. When I run, notice the level of my head, and notice what happens with my head when I engage the right target here. So not for time here. I'm just gonna break the shot here. So as you'll notice, when I started off, my head was pretty high. Then I moved, I ran into position, and I could have already been aiming, keeping my head low here and stay here, but yet what I did is I popped up, so my sights are still moving. So that is movement that is not allowing me to get my sights steady on target. So it makes it longer for me to get an accurate shot. So what I'm going to do is the same exact thing. I'm going to start from there, but notice my head level now is going to be more defined, all right? If there's any movement, it's much more minimal than what you saw. And that's going to allow me to spend less time aiming on my target so I can take those accurate shots. Okay, so here I am. Pay attention to my head. So I'm already bent, so I want to stay here. Break my shot. So that is going to make you more efficient in your shooting. You'll also be more accurate because there's less movement in your sights. You are going to develop efficiency or shorten up your times because now there's also less movement. You don't have to wait, right? So you're going to gain accuracy as well as shave off some time. The question comes, do you always have to keep your head down? Not all the time. So I'm going to run this. There are certain situations. It's never black and white or 100% of the time. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to start from right to left. The reason being is there's a target that's maybe about 12, 14, no, maybe that's about 14 yards. I'm going to take that shot here, okay, which is relatively close, maybe from this position here. But then I'm going to run to this position, and there is a steel plate maybe about 25 yards away, all right? So the 25-yard shot is a harder shot, and depending on your skill level, you may need to create a steady platform. So in this instance, you might feel or find it more favorable to start off here with a good stance, then I'm moving, and once I get to this position, I'm going to take a harder, more longer distance shot. I straighten up, so I'm very steady and there's less tension. So this is how it would look in this particular situation here. So I'm here, I'm going to engage, I have my head level here, okay? I break the shot, I can keep my head level, but now I know I have a hard target. I'm going to go up here and then break the shot. All right, so the idea is to keep your head level when you can, particularly if you're moving and you don't want a lot of movement so that you're jarring your sights, as well as when you are moving from position to position up close. But if you ever have a harder target, don't feel like it's gospel. You can straighten up if you need to, if it's a harder shot for your skill level. I hope you guys liked the video. It is a simple tip that is going to help you increase your speed or I should say shave off your time and make you more accurate because you're not waiting for that sight to settle or your red dot to settle. As always, if you guys like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe. See you guys in the next video.